Hello everyone, this is Satyaprakash. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll describe Angular Navbar application using Bootstrap with home and footer component. So what we'll describe in this video, I'll mention few points. So steps to add and configure Bootstrap in Angular application, and add and configure components in Angular application, and how to add image file in Angular application. So for that I have already created one Angular application. So if you are new to how to create Angular and setting the Angular application in your operating system, so please visit my Angular CLI playlist. What I already have created some videos on this part. So Angular CLI tutorial, you can go through that on my YouTube channel. So if you click on this playlist, that is Angular CLI tutorial, you'll get 5 videos. That is introduction to Angular CLI and steps to install, and create, build and compile project using Angular CLI. So these 2 videos are very important to start and build the Angular application and project. After then I'll tell you about the next step what we will do in this video. So I already have created one Angular application in this path. This path is called C drive, and I created one folder Angular YouTube, and there I have created another Angular. I created one Angular application called Angular app. So after creating Angular application, I have got this much files what you have seen now. So after then I'll tell about that how to open in Visual Studio Code. What is Visual Studio Code, I already have described in my Angular CLI tutorial, as I have already shown you what playlist you need to go through that. So for that I want to open command prompt here. So I will type cmd. So right click and run as administrator. So it will open the command prompt in your admin mode, and it is asking about something, and I put here yes. So after then it will open command prompt for me. So what I'll do here, I'll just check my Angular CLI version installed in my operating system. So what I'll do here, I just type here npm version, or I'll just go to my root C drive. So I'll go to that as CLS and npm version. I have write this command to execute that. It will show me what is the Angular CLI version has installed in my operating system. And you should make sure you for that you can see here that is npm is 6.14.4, and you have some configurations with that. Some configuration version ID have mentioned 6.14.4 and glib 1.2.11 there's mentioned here. So I will check here ng-v. So it will show me some information about the version related that have installed in my operating system for that Angular application. So just wait for a few moments and it will show us that commands for me. So just available commands, it will show for that. So I'll put here ng version. Oh, I have typed wrong one. So it will be go to my next command line prompt, and I will type there the appropriate one. So ngvrsion. So click enter here, and it will show that you can see here the Angular CLI 10.1.7 has installed in my system, and my operating system is 64-bit, and node version have installed 12.18.0. So in this way we can find this Angular CLI version has installed in your system. And after then I'll go here to my execution for executing few commands. I want to clear the screen, and I want to open this project using my Visual Studio Code. So what I'll do here, I'll go to this path, I'll map this path here, and cd I'll put here Angular YouTube, and I click enter. So after then I'll put my Angular application name, and here I click enter. So after then the command prompt is mapped to your physical path of your file, that is C drive, Angular YouTube and Angular app. And after then what I'll do here, I will one command code, and here I put the space and dot. So it means it will open my this Angular application in my Visual Studio Code. So I click enter. So it starts opening my Visual Studio Code with my Angular application, that is Angular app. So within few minutes it will start opening my Angular application in Visual Studio Code, and it will show the same file structures what you are showing here, that is everything, that E2E, node underscore modules, src and all related files you'll get in a hierarchy in my Visual Studio Code here. So I already have opened my project Angular application in Visual Studio Code, or you can tell it as a VS Code. And if you don't know what is about VS Code or Visual Studio Code, I'd suggest to visit my previous Angular CLI tutorial in my channel. And what I'll do here, you can see that all these files, my application is Angular app, and all these files and folders has available here after opening this project. And this is nothing but the terminal, and you can see the whatever path is mentioned here. This is my project Angular application path. So I want to see this output here. To see the output, I will type one command to compile and to open this application. So this command is ng serve -and o, and click enter. So what happened, this command will start compile my application is step by step here, and after then it will open this Angular application and it will show the output to us. So it will take some time to compile and open this application to the end user to solve the output. And after then I'll tell you about what is the next step I'll do for that. So in meantime I'll show you something that is in my YouTube channel. You can find this Angular CLI tutorial, and here in this video 1 I already have described, that is how to install Angular, for Angular application, what prerequisites are required for this, that is node, npm, and you need to install Angular CLI, and you need to install Visual Studio Code, what I already have shown earlier in this video, and how to set up the configuration. And if you face any issue during installation of Angular CLI, or you already have installed Angular CLI but there is some configuration error that you can find at the time of compile and run the application, so you can fix it. I already have described in this video, and in the second video I'll tell about. So meantime I'll check what is the progress in this compilation part. So it's still on progress, it will start in few minutes. And in second video it is create, build and compile project of Angular CLI. So after creating our Angular CLI project, what is the next one is how to create the project. So to create the project, there is few commands here. How to create this command, how to create the Angular project for it, and what there is one command called ng-new and your Angular application name. Here I have put Angular app, so as per your requirement you can put anything, but the command should be that ng-new Angular application name. So after then all the configuration files and all this Angular related application TypeScript files, config files like this you can see here. It will be fetched from your internet and should be required. So make sure when you start working on your Angular application, the network connection should be on. So without network connection you cannot connect to the server and cannot connect to create Angular application. For that network connection is required to create the Angular application in your local system. So okay, I'll check here what the progress here, and still, because so first time when you will create the Angular application and you will check the output, it will take some time to compile and run your application. So here in the next video what I described, create, compile and build and compile the project. And here step 3, how you use the command prompt in Angular CLI and how to customize the command prompt, like we already have shown you right here, how to configure Angular CLI and how to map to the Angular application and open this project in Visual Studio Code, and how to check Angular CLI version, npm ng version installed in your system. So it starts compiling. You can see here 0% is compiling, it's starting. So within few seconds it will be show to the output to our browser. So I have make this my Chrome as my default browser, so Angular application it will open the output in our Chrome browser only. And how to switch the browser I'll describe in my next video, so stay tuned for that. You can see here that is 10% building 6 to 6 by 6 modules, and it can compile and building everything step by step here. And most probably these two folders are very important, node underscore modules and src. So node underscore module, some configuration related files. When you install some new things like Bootstrap, the path will be installed here, and you can refer that path, node underscore module path, in your configuration file to get the output or to reflect your changes. So this Angular CLI related videos are all real-time scenario, and it is nothing only for students and beginners. It can be for intermediate and for experienced professional persons who are working in IT company, and whatever their experience working on technology as a software engineer, senior software engineer, or tech lead, or team lead like this. So this is important for videos. So you can see here it is already have done the compiling and building the Angular application. You can see Angular live development server is listening to this path and local host, and my default port number is 4200. So I'll just describe how to change this port number in my next video, and you can see after then it is compiled successfully messages now. So it is automatically open this browser for me. You can see here it is the output of my default Angular application, that is Angular app is running. Okay, now what I'll do here, I will install this Bootstrap in my Angular application. So for that what I'll do some commands I need to execute here. So here I need to go to the next line. For this Control C, and it will ask about the yes or no option. Control C here. So you want to terminate batch job, yes, and it will start my new line for me, so I can write the command here. So the command is npm I bootstrap. I need to type here and double hyphen and save. So after then you click enter here. So what you will do that this command will install Bootstrap in my local machine, and it will be install the the latest Bootstrap version in my system. So it has been in Bootstrap 5. It is the latest edition as per my knowledge, and you can see here, you can see also I already have open one link for you. See, Bootstrap the latest version is 5 as of now, so latest is 5.0.x. so this is the latest Bootstrap 5 version, and you can, so it can install Bootstrap 5 in my Angular application project. So this command, it already started installing Bootstrap 5 in my Angular application, and after then what I'll do here, I will modify some changes in my angular.json file. So I already have described what is the configuration file here in my part 5 of Angular CLI, what is angular.json in Angular CLI. So you should go through this video, and you can get the overall knowledge of what is angular.json, what I'll do some changes in this video. And you make sure when you install this Bootstrap command and execute this command to install Bootstrap in your system, you should make sure that your internet connection should. So you can see here this Angular application what already have earlier compiled, and it will show the output to us. It is not a responsive. So if you'll go to and inspect element of this project of this browser, and you can see, you can check here that this Angular application is not responsive. And you can check here, if you check here Moto, you can see something layout is just not been matching to this part. So you can see, if you'll click here and you can check here, so it is not responsive now. So I will show you how to check this responsive and make this responsive application to our Angular app. So you can see here this start Bootstrap 5.1 5.0.2. this is the latest one. It started installing in our Angular application. After then it will show one successful message to the end user that Bootstrap is installed successfully to our Angular application. And after then I will start configure this Bootstrap related configuration in our angular.json file. So you can see here that I added one package from 2 contributors, and 88 packages already funding. That means Bootstrap is already installed in our system, and the version Bootstrap is Bootstrap 5.0.2. this is the latest one. So I will show you where this installed in our project. You can just go to the node_modules and expand this, and after then you just scroll down, and here you'll check that is the Bootstrap is here you can see the Bootstrap _node_module. You can check the Bootstrap here. Okay, so go to again this path. This is you can check here in your Bootstrap in your node_module. So what I'll do, node underscore module here, and go to the bootstrap option. So where it is, bootstrap, here you can check bootstrap here. So you can check here bootstrap is installed some folders, dist, js file and some css file. So you can see scss, so it is the type of, it is the format of css. So during creation of my Angular project, it was asking what format of file format of css you want. So I have selected that is scss. That's why bootstrap install for our css format in our project. And this one the javascript related files, and this one the dist folder. So the same I'll show you in my physical folder path here. So if you'll go to node underscore modules, and there I will show the same thing, the bootstrap is installed in our Angular project. So you will open this bootstrap file folders, and you can see this, all this in dist folder here, and I'll open again. This dist folder contains css and js, and this js folder dist and src, and there's another css format, that is the scss. This contains all the css bootstraps css related files. So as of now bootstrap is already installed in your system. So what I'll do here, we should declare a bootstrap library in angular.json file, so it will locate the bootstrap scss file. For that, what I'll do here, I'll click here angular.json, and here I'll just scroll down here, and here in style section I need some changes here. So this one is src styles.css, this one the css format, which one by default it was adding. After then I put a comma here, and I will add one path of bootstrap, which one is installed in node underscore module. So node underscore modules and slash here, and here I put bootstrap, and another slash dist folder and css, and here I'll mention that is bootstrap dot min dot css. So I'll re-verify again, node underscore modules for bootstrap dist css and bootstrap.min.css. So this path I need to configure in our angular.json file. After then what I'll do, I save the changes. So I'll check here whether this path is there or not. So node underscore module, here I'll go bootstrap, and I'll check dist folder, and in dist folder there one css folder is there, what path I have given, and another css is this file bootstrap.min.css. So I'll go here, you can see bootstrap.min.css. so this path I have given already in our angular.json file. So I click the save, save the changes here. So to get an output I will solve this app. So what I'll do the same thing here. So ng solve -o and click enter. So you can see that after adding this bootstrap in an Angular application, our application is support the responsive, and it can support to any kind of device, that is desktop, laptop, mobile, and any kind of screen and device screen. So it will be supportable and with all kind of margins of screen. Okay, now it will start building and compile this my Angular application, and it will show the output to us. So for that I just close this one. and it has started compiling my latest changes, and within seconds it will show the output to the end user with my latest changes what we have done in this Bootstrap configuration part. And you should be always check that this path should be correct, otherwise it cannot map to this wrong path. And if this path is correct, then your outputs will be expected of what you want in your requirements. So you can see here they are compiled successfully with my latest changes, and we can check this output here. So it automatically open the browser with this port number and localhost, and we can see the output as expected. So now Bootstrap is applied in our Angular application, and if I will see here, if I will minimize this any screen, so it is responsive and it adjusts to our expanding and with our compression of this screen of our browser. Also, if you will go to inspect element of this browser, and here I'll make some device changes and it will show the output accordingly. So here I'll select as responsive, so you can see here our page is responsive as expected here. So if I'll select here some device name, so it has it adjusts to our screen and it will show to this entire content of our pages here. So this is the benefits of the adding Bootstrap in our Angular application. Now what I'll do here, so now I'll go to my official Bootstrap website here. So this one, the Bootstrap official site, you can get bootstrap.com, and here what I'll do, so I'll create my one component, that is Navbar. So here you can check what is Navbar, and what is the selected CSS and how it works, and the supported contents is available for Navbar. That is some subcomponent Navbar brand, Navbar nav, Navbar-toggler, Navbar-text. This all supported contents are available here. Also there is few sample codes available here. You can check how to add the class in Navbar and text here, and how to add the brand name, and how to add Navbar text, and here how to add images in Navbar, and as well as image and text here using Bootstrap and Navbar. And there are many types of Navbar configuration and how to create forms in using Navbar component and subcomponent here, and here how to add text, here how to add color scheme in your Navbar, and how to add containers, and what is containers in Navbar here, and what is placement in Navbar, and here how to add default placement, fixed top, fixed bottom, how to configure a sticky top, and how to add scrolling in your Navbar, and here how to add responsive behaviors here, and how to add togglers. And here also we can see some important external contents you can add in your navbar. That is, you can use div tag div class here for collapse and expand. And here are other variables and loops related to navbar you can check in this path. So as per requirement, I have installed Bootstrap 5 in our Angular application. So now what I'll do, I will type one command to create a navbar component. So for that I want to go to this new line. So yes, and I'll type one command nggc template, and here I'll put my component name is navbar. So what this command stands for, that it will create a navbar component for me, and here GE stands for generating and C stands for component, and here template is a folder, and inside template folder here another folder navbar. And navbar, it contains some HTML, CSS file and TypeScript file, some configuration related files it will be created for me. So after then I'll click enter here, and it will start creating the navbar component. You can see here. So my after successful creation, the navbar folder will be created with all the navbar components inside it. So if you'll go here src, and here app, and here you can see one template folder is created, and here in template another navbar folder, and here navbar folder there is 4 files has been created: navbar.component.html and navbar.component.css, navbar.component.spec.ts TypeScript file, and navbar.component.ts. So I will show in this physical path as well. So if you'll go here to my Angular application, here I'll go to my src, and after then I'll open this app folder, and after then a template folder and navbar folder I'll open. You can see here these 4 files what I have described in Visual Studio Code. Here you can see these physical files here. These 4 related file: TypeScript, CSS file, and one is HTML file, and 2 TypeScript file, TS file. Okay, now what I'll do the next is, so I should paste some code in for Bootstrap navbar inside navbar.component.html. So I'll open this navbar.component.html file. So here what I'll do, I'll write some code here. So I'll start with nav and end bracket, and here okay, so nav, and here it will start opening and closing bracket, right? So here I'll mention it class name, it's nothing but the Bootstrap class. And here what I'll do, I'll double quotation, I will type the Bootstrap class here. So navbar and navbar hyphen light and bg hyphen dark. So after then I'll just give some space here. So navbar hyphen light and bg hyphen dark of navbar class I specified, and there I mention one span tag here. So here what I'll do, I'll mention some class name. So see class and equal to double quotation, I'll mention navbar hyphen brand, and mb hyphen 0 and h1, and text format I'll mention it as light. So I'll mention some text here, and again I'll just re-verify navbar hyphen brand mb hyphen 0 and h1 text hyphen light. I'll mention the some text here. So navbar by Satya Prakash. So I have mentioned this text here. Okay. Now what I'll do, so let's now declare the navbar component using selector inside app.component.html file. So how to get this selector name? So for that I'll check here navbar.component.ts file. So it is my selector app hyphen navbar. So what I'll do, I will add this I will declare the navbar component using selector inside app.component.html file. So I'll open this app.component.html file, and I will declare the navbar component using selector, what I have shown here, how to find the selector name. So some default code it was in my app.component.html, so I want to remove all these things. So I delete this one. Okay, now I deleted. So what I'll do, I'll add the selector with open and closing bracket, and here I'll do that. So that's it. So I have declared the navbar component with selector inside app.component.html file, and after then I save the changes. And one thing you guys need to remember, when you create any component, the selector is named as app hyphen component name, like app hyphen navbar is the component I have created. So this is the way the selector will be found in your navbar.component.ts file. So here, since we have created a navbar component, the selector will be named as app hyphen navbar here, and after then I'll save these changes here, and I will sort the app to see the output. So I'll do here, I'll type command ng sort and hyphen o and click enter. So what we have done changes in our navbar.component.html. So this will create a navbar with this text, that is navbar by Satya Prakash. So once this completed building and compiling our Angular application, it will serve this output as expected. and it has started compiling our latest changes to what we have done in these 4 files, that is angular.json, navbar component.html, app.component.html. Also we have done these changes in these 3-4 files, and it will start compile and building these files, and it will start this showing the output to the end user as expected with Navbar, and its text should be Navbar by Satyaprakash. So I will close this existing output so that it will start again, open the new tab with the some latest changes what we have done earlier in our Angular application. So I suggest you go to that my YouTube channel Coding Knowledge, and here you need to watch this Angular CLI videos, and these are very important, and after then you'll go this video that add component to our Angular application. So it will be easy to understand what will go by step by step. So you can see that it is compiled successfully, and it will start open my browser using this localhost with port number 4200. So now we can see here the output. Now we can see the Navbar has added here, and with text Navbar by Satyaprakash. So if you'll check here, check the responsive, it is working as expected. Now the next one what we'll do, we should add a color to the Navbar. So to do so, I will check how to check in your Bootstrap official site. So search for background colors here. So you can check background color, you can click here. Now you can see the variety of background color you can apply in your Navbar, and there are many, Bootstrap classes has been, you can mention bg-primary, bg-secondary, .bg-success, .bg-danger, and here the sample code how to apply this Bootstrap CSS for background color. And background gradient, you can how to apply this class by adding .bg-gradient class, and here the some SASS and what know about the variables, and here the theme colors, that is the map, some SSS maps, so we can loop over them to generate our utilities and some component modifiers. After then you can use that is mixins, and how to implement mixins using this code, sample code has been added here, and some utilities API under this background color section of our Bootstrap official site. Okay, now what I'll do, we have found bg.bg-primary class. So what I'll do here, earlier I have mentioned here bg-dark here. So I need to replace bg-dark to bg-primary. So I will type here bg-primary class. So I will save these changes, and after then it will start automatically compile to my project, compile my application and some latest changes. I no need to type this command to solve the output ng solve-o. And after then we'll check the output here. So you can see the Navbar background color is changed from dark to bg-primary color. Now the next one is I will generate our home component. So to do so, I'll type some types of commands here. So I just Control-C, yes, and I'll generate one component called home component under pages folder. So home, I type ngGC page. I'll type at my folder should be pages, so I just modify this pages and the component is home. So click enter. So it will create the same component structure what we have done earlier in our Navbar component. So we'll check after then what is the files and folders we have this created in our for home component. So I already have execute this command in Visual Studio Code terminal, and within few minutes it will start creating our component and it will show the home component structures here. So you can see home component is created, that is home component.html, home component.spec.ts, home component.ts, and home component.css file. So see here in src app, and here you can see another folder is created, pages, and if you expand this you will get these 4 folders here. And if you go here in my physical path, you can see that go to app, and here you can see one pages folder is created, and inside pages home folder and all home component related files is available here. So in this way we have created our component for our Angular application. So what I'll do here, I will select the selector what we have done for. So for this component the selector is app-home, and I'll go to app component.html and I'll add this selector here, and I'll open this. Okay, so here what I'll do, open this and close this, so that it will close this app-selector to in our app.component.html file. Now what I'll do, I want to add an image in the home component of this application, and here I already have declared the home component inside the app.component.html, right? So after then I want to add an image in the home component of our application. For this add some code in home component.html. So I go to home component.html here, I just remove this existing code and I'll type some code here. So for this what I'll do, I'll write the div, and here div I have mentioned some class property, so CLSS class, and inside class I'll mention as container, and text is center, and here what another property I need to mention at pv-5 and pages. So after then I'll went to new line, and here I mention h1 tag, and in h1 tag I will add one text here. So I'll mention Satyaprakash Samantray, and after then what I'll do here, I will add one image path here. So image path for that what I'll do here, for img src here I need to mention this path, So what I'll do, slash, and after then what I'll do, dot slash forward slash dot forward slash dot forward slash here, and I'll mention assets and satya dot jpg, and this image, for this I have mentioned some bootstrap for this image. So here I mention class and img hyphen, here I mention fluid, and I'll mention here pt hyphen 5, and if image not found, then the alternate text will be shown to the user. So what should be there, and I'll close here actually image alt there, and class name is done. Okay, I want to another double quotation mention, and alternate text should be Satyaprakash, and close, and quotation, double quotation is end here, and I'll close this image tag here. Now you can see that I have added one image path here, that is in assets folder. There we need to mention as our image file. So if you'll go here, assets, and scroll down, so if you'll expand this asset, there is no image file is there, right? So I want to add one image here. So what I'll do here, I already have one image Satya, and I'll go here my Angular application path, that is C drive, and here src, and in src there is one assets folder, and in src I'll put my image file, that is satya.jpg, and we just check that this pixel of this image that will be margin to our that is responsive, and it will be perfect to our margin of our Angular application screen. So you can see the pixels, we check that horizontal is 640 and vertical is 426. So I just close this, and if I'll go to Visual Studio Code, we want to only refresh this folder, and you can see that this assets folder contains our this satya.jpg file, image file. And after then we need to sort the output and the application what will be shown, and we can check. So here we will type command ng serve -o and click enter. So it will start building our application. What we have done some modification, that app.component HTML contains that home directive for home component, and home.component.html we have added some code with image path here. So it will start building these changes and show the output to us in our new browser tab. So I'll just close this existing tab here. So this is the very real-time scenario application. We can create our own profile, and we can create our own resume that using Angular application with short code. And this is the most important, to create component and to map component with each other, and how add Bootstrap to our Angular application so that every component has been reflected within a responsive manner, so that it can be support with every kind of device screen, and as we have already described earlier. So it has started compiling our Angular application. So our application compiled successfully with latest changes, and it will open this browser with these changes as well. So it is showing that home works. Okay, we'll check where it is the mistake has been done here. Okay, so home.component.html. Okay, I need to save this one. Okay, what I've done, I did not save these changes, that's why it has given us the old output. So I have changed this and it has compiled our application, and hope so it will start showing us the expected output here. So now you can see that our h1 is text is added Satyaprakash Samantrai, and whatever we have added image in our assets folder, in assets folder, that is satya.jpg, and what is the class we have mentioned, and the alternate text that will be reflect here. So if I'll just go to the response, check the responsive, you can see here the responsive is working as expected here. This image, text, h1, navbar text, image file, everything. So now what I'll do, so I'll test it for various smartphones by using the browser inspect element. So I'll go to, as you can see, the content, it will be fully responsive. So I'll just check for smartphones using the browser inspect elements. So you can see here, if you'll go to check here responsive, so you can see that this responsive is working as expected here. And here I'll check this Moto G4 and Galaxy S5. So you can see that the responsive is working as expected here. And if you select here iPhone X, and for iPhone X, what is the responsive is working in our Angular application using Bootstrap. So now my Angular application with responsive by implementing Bootstrap works fine. And our next one is, so we already have seen that the content is fully responsive, and our next step is we should generate a footer component to set the footer section of our Angular application. So for that I want to type one command to generate the footer component. So I'll go to here Visual Studio Code and terminate the job, Control C here, and yes, and here I'll type one command nggc, and here the template folder I'll create, and inside template I will mention the footer component, and here after then I'll click enter. So it will start creating our footer component as same as the navbar and home component, and the expected files should be there what it was in our previous component of, that is navbar and home component. The same files and folders should be there in our footer component as well. So we'll check here once it will create. See here it has created footer component.html, footer.component.spec.ts, footer.component.ts file, and footer.component.scss file. The same files you can see here. If you'll just expand this template folder, you can see two navbar, another one is footer. Here I'll expand this footer, you can see all these folders here. So same way in the physical path of this project, if you'll go to src, and you can check here under app folder, there is one template folder is there, and template folder there is two folder, navbar and footer, and footer folder contains some footer component related files you can see here. So it successfully created the footer component and its files. So what I'll do, I declare a footer component like other component in app.component.html file. So I'll check what is the selector for that footer component. So footer component selector for is app-footer. So it is available in footer.component.ts file. So I will add this footer component like other component in our app.component.html file. So I'll start the bracket and close the bracket here. So it is successfully added, and I'll write some code for footer.component.html. So what I'll do, I'll remove this existing code what is available in footer.component.html, and I will write some code that will save our footer section by putting some copyright stuff. So what I'll do, I'll write div tag here, and I'll mention here the class name. So class name is bg-dark, and text is text-light, and text should be center, and here p-5 and m-0. So after then I just new line here, and I'll put some text here that is copyright, and I will write some that is 2021 and hyphen. I'll put my name that is Satyaprakash. Okay. So that's I have added some changes in our footer.component.html file, that is div class bg-dark, text should be light and color should be light, and text align is center, p5 and m-0, and the text is copyright @2021 Satyaprakash. So I will save these changes. So I'll save these changes now. After then I'll solve the output. I'll check what is the expected result here. So ng-solve-o, click enter. So it will start compiling and building our recent changes what we have done now, that is for app.component.html we have added the select directive of home footer component, that is selector _footer, and after then I have added some changes for footer section of our Angular application, that is footer.component.html in footer.component.html file. So what I'll do, I'll just close this existing browser existing output by closing this tab, so that after compiling it will create automatically another tab here, and it will show the output to us with expected result. So in this way we'll create our component, and how to add our image files to our Angular application, how to add component to our Angular application, like home component, and here we'll check footer component and Navbar component, and how to add Bootstrap in our Angular application that is available in our node_modules, and how to add this bootstrap path in our angular.json. So we already have got one overall idea about real-time scenario of Angular application in this video. So it has started compiling with our latest changes, that is has modified in our footer component, and once it is done it will open the browser and it will start showing the output to us. So in this video we have got one real-time idea on how to create Navbar and create your own profile, user profile, using different components and Bootstrap, adding images, text formats in Bootstrap, and how to get the Bootstrap official site, and how to source some component related contents like Bootstrap class subcomponent in our Bootstrap official site. So it started building our application and every file and folders. So it has compiled successfully with our latest changes, that is the footer.component.html file, and it will show the output with our footer component as expected. So now we can see that the footer component is added successfully to our Angular application with text copyright @2021 and Satyaprakash. So it is a fully developed Angular Navbar application, and I will give another video how to add another component and a very real-time scenario of Angular application using Navbar application. So we have added Navbar and Navbar component, and here added one h1 tag here and added images, and finally I have added the footer component here. So we'll check that you can see it is a Bootstrap and fully responsive application. You can see when we expand this browser, the content adjusts automatically if you expand and collapse and you can minimize and maximize the screen of browser. The content is adjusted successfully here. So if you expand and if you collapse, secure. If you expand here, the content is adjusted automatically. If you collapse here, the content is adjusted successfully. It is because of that Bootstrap is applied to our Angular application, that it makes our Angular application fully responsive. Okay, now I'll do some small changes to adjust the layout of the application, and I'll add some style in app.component.scss and style.scss file. So for that, I'll go to my Visual Studio Code here. I'll go to app.component.scss and I'll open this one, and I'll add some style here, the dot main and hyphen view here, and here what I'll do, min height properties I need to mention height and colon and 100 vh. So it is the style I have added on app.component.scss file, that is .main hyphen view, and inside I have added one minimum height with length 100 vh, and I have semicolon here, and close these changes and save these changes. And after then, next file should be here, style.scss. So open this file here, and here I'll add the same thing what I have done in app.component.scss. So what I'll do, I'll add one .pages class here, and here I'll open and close bracket, and here I mention some padding property, that is padding hyphen top, and I'll mention that pixel 54 and semicolon, and save these changes. So here I have added .pages, and here padding top, it is 54 pixel for SCSS. So in this way I have added that is some style in app.component.cs file, and here I add some style in our style.scss file. So this CSS class has been added in our HTML component HTML files here. If you'll go here, that is template, and just expand this navbar and go to here. Okay, I just close and just expand this one, and I'll just open this navbar.component.html, and okay, now I'll check this pages here, home.component.html. see here I have added one pages class, right? So this class is nothing but come from our style.scss, that is the .pages class I have mentioned in our style.css. so that class name I have mentioned in our home.component.html. So same way the .main view class can be added in our .html file. So because this SCSS and app.component.scss, it is we have added in our angular.json. so I already have shown you that in our angular.json file contains our style related configuration and properties. That's why I have added here the path, that is style.scss. Another one is bootstrap.min.css file. So after then I'll save all these changes. I'll go to here, put that is app.component.scss file. I'll save these changes, and I'll go to style.scss, and I'll save these changes. So after then I'll check the output after successful compilation of my Angular application, and we'll sort the output and it will reflect the expected result what we have done some changes in our both SCSS file. SCSS is nothing but one kind of CSS format. During creation of our Angular project it was asking, so I have selected SCSS. If you select their CSS, you can use the CSS as well. So if you'll go here Angular application, you just refresh these changes browser, so you can see that after changes we can adjust some layout of the Angular application by adding the styles in our app.component.scss and style.scss. So we'll check again in our responsive mode, that is the Navbar component with color and h1 tag and image and footer component as well. So if you expand this, you can check here, so it is fully responsive. So if you expand this screen, I just scroll over. So if you expand the screen Angular application, it will adjust automatically with the screen. If you collapse the screen, the Angular application is adjusted automatically with the screen size. Okay, so this is all about how to add component, image and Bootstrap in our Angular application. So now I'll go to my slide here, and here what I'll do, that is how to add and configure Bootstrap. There is one command to install Bootstrap on your machine, that is npm I bootstrap --save. And how to add and configure components, so type the below command to create any component. So here I take it as an example of Navbar component, so nggc folder -name / component name. So for example nggc folder name is template and component name is Navbar. So here G stands for generating and C stands for component. So this is my YouTube channel. Subscribe and share it to get the up-to-date knowledge on technology. What we have learned today in this video, that is how to add, configure and install Bootstrap in our Angular application, and add and configure components in our Angular application, how to add image file in Angular application. So that's all about guys for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.